people. Here we go. Some news headlines. Let's go. Hey, gun people. Man, the spin is going crazy. What do we know about this dude who's a shooter, this piece of shit who went and shot up all those kids? Can I call him a piece of shit? Or is it because he's Hispanic and he's a transgender, or he doesn't know a bathroom to use that I got to be nice to him? Otherwise, it'll be a hate crime if I talk bad about him, even though he walked in like a coward and killed kids. That's the problem with these shootings, is nobody can tell somebody when they're being an idiot. Nobody can say this dude has problems. No, we have to be tolerant, get along, ignore everything. Then when this happens, they want to take the guns from good people that didn't do anything. Freaking outrageous. So I'm going through a bunch of articles, and they're saying, oh, high capacity mag. This is a standard magazine for an AR. So this guy, 5 facts you need to know. Not a whole bunch. I mean, he shot his grandmother before. Then he went over to the shooting, and let's see. How does a kid, supposedly that got picked on because he couldn't afford clothes, he dropped out of school, he wasn't even going to school, he was pissed off at his grandmother because he dropped out of school and he wasn't going to graduate, that's why he shot her, and somehow he can go out being 18 and buy $2,000 guns. I mean, I don't know what ARs they are, but most ARs are 800 to 1,000. Then you throw in a night sight, a full rail, a front grip. This looks like it's almost a Smith & Wesson. Those are really nice, fairly pricey ARs. Where did he get the money? See, we won't ask that. How did a kid who was so broke get all this money? I don't believe that he bought them. I don't even know if he used them. We haven't seen one crime scene of him with a gun. We haven't seen anything. They've been hiding everything. All we do is get bits and pieces. Here's some things that we won't know. Does he have some people reporting that they can't find his passport, that he's here illegally? They won't let that out because the border's wide freaking open. If he bought guns across the border and he didn't buy them legally, they won't let that out. If he bought them legally, how could he do that? We already have government background checks. If he bought them legally, he had to go through a background check. He passed a background check. They're screaming for more laws, more this. They don't give a shit about the kids. They care about disarming good American patriots. This has nothing to do with the kids, and it makes me sick that these guys sit around and act like they give a shit about the victims. You know what else we're not going to find out because nobody's asking? What was the race of all the victims? Never fucking fails if I get on a fucking phone. Where was the race of all the victims? Why don't we know? You know, the last guy that shot, it was like, oh, almost all the victims were black. They weren't even all black. They were white people. But no, we had to push an agenda. This one, because he's Hispanic, nobody's saying it's a hate crime. Nobody's saying that he killed mostly Hispanic kids. Nobody's saying that he killed mostly Hispanic people. No, that's not an issue because he's Hispanic and there's no agenda. It's just so tiresome to get to hear all this BS when it comes. I mean, they got pictures of his house. I mean, there's just all kind of rumors and crap out there about this kid and flags and problems. So they denied bail for these two guys. Fatally shot downtown shooting. We don't hear anything about this. They went and killed 2 people and wounded a bunch in Chicago. I think they wounded like 7 or 17. No, we're not. We don't need to talk about that. Let's talk about that other shooting where most of the victims were black. Almost all these victims were black. We don't hear anything about this because it doesn't fit their agenda. So here's his car, and supposedly here's his house. The crime scene tape where he shot his grandmother. How does he get a truck like this? How does a kid 18 drops out of high school and it can afford $2,000 guns and a truck like this? And I mean, he trashed his truck when he crashed it. How does that happen? So here's the house where he shot grandma. Nice house. Looks fairly clean. Nice truck in front. I don't know if those are cop cars. But I mean, it's just crazy that he can afford all these things. And it's like, okay, how does that happen? This is the girl online that's supposedly texting and talking to him. And now she's like, I didn't know who he is. I didn't know why he was telling me he had a gun. I didn't know anything. All right, whatever. I mean, I don't care. I don't want to make it about her. I mean, he's the freaking problem. He did it. Hold him accountable. I mean, a whole bunch of questions. You know what else we won't know? Millions of guns in America didn't shoot anybody today. You won't hear anything about that. Thousands of guns are coming across the border, killing and shooting people. You won't hear about that. We don't want to control the border to control the guns coming across there. No. We don't know if he's got a passport. We don't know if he brought the gun across the border. How come we haven't seen the forms where he legally bought it? If he legally bought it, he filled out a 4473 and he signed it under penalty of perjury. And supposedly he had no criminal history. So he bought the guns legally. And yet the left is saying, we need more gun control. He followed the law with your current crazy controls. Laws don't stop criminals. He shot his grandmother. He doesn't care about laws. You deal with crazy people and you want to penalize good people with guns. It is so freaking old and tired of hearing that shit. And it's amazing that this guy gets all these kill ratios. I mean, he's just, almost everybody he shot died. Now, granted, they're kids, but they're smaller targets. If you hit them with an AR, I mean, he's got to be getting some center mass shots to make one-shot kills. If people get shot in the arms and legs, they normally live. So, I mean, we're not getting any of that. I'm not into this false flag and it's all fake and all that crap. I just hate when the government hides everything and just, the media won't ask them one damn question. They'll just take whatever they say. Supposedly he's on meds for sex changes, but they don't want to talk about that, whether that's true or not, whether he was getting a sex change. There was a couple pictures of cops standing around. I cannot find it. But they were just kind of like talking and hanging around, and I was like, really? What else was on here? There was the guns. These are the victims. Oh, is that a white girl? Oh, can't talk about that. So again, he bought it on his birthday. We don't have any proof that he bought it. We just know the government is telling us he bought it. How could he buy it if he's illegal? If he's illegal, how did he legally purchase a gun? They won't tell us whether he's illegal. They won't tell us what he put on his 4473. We don't even know if he used the guns that he bought. I haven't seen one picture. 700,000 immigrants became lawful permanent residents. 700,000. We're dropping them off left and right across the border. It is crazy. How many immigrants came in? And we're calling them immigrants. How many illegals? How many criminals snuck in? It says 15,000. Hell, we got 200,000 in the last month. And now they want to make it easier for them to come in. The number went up to 21 killed. And I figured yesterday when I did this, I said the number will go up because there's people in critical condition. And if they die in a hospital, the numbers will change. And this piece of shit idiot. What are we going to do? How can we do this? How can we allow this? Well, you fucking allowed it. You open the borders. You're allowing them to bring in fentanyl. They're bringing in enough drugs. 70,000 people died of fentanyl in 1 year. 70,000 people. And now he's crying because suddenly somebody shot up a school who was maybe illegal, we don't know. Maybe brought the guns across the border, we don't know. Maybe he was on psych meds or sex meds or whatever, transgender change, whatever. We don't know. We don't know any of that. Nobody's asking questions. We just take whatever the government tells us, and the government only tells us their agenda to take the guns and to play on the emotions. These freaking worthless pieces of shit that use these kids to go after a gun because they don't have the balls to do it on their own are just freaking sickening. You filthy pieces of shit. Every one of you. What else? What was that? Sex change? No. I can't find that article. So, in 2021, increase 70,000 from opiates. 70,000 people in 2020. 80,000 in 2021. And the border's wide open, and they want to make it easier to bring more drugs. And we've got people coming across planning to shoot Bush, Al-Qaeda. People on the terrorist watchways coming across the border. That's not the issue, Ricky. We got to get the guns, Rick. The guns are the bad. When are we going to stop this? We need sensible gun control. It's for the children. The same lying mantra. Well, this is one picture. It's a different picture. And again, everybody's going to say they're photoshopped and it's not sure. And I know he said they were making homophobic claims and he was upset. And of course, he's, everybody's playing him as the victim and it wasn't his fault. And, it was the guns' fault and it was the Republicans and it was Trump. So people are saying that he's not trans and it's fake and it's not fair. Well, why was he complaining about transgender and, saying people were picking on him because of what clothes he wore? He's got a NASA shirt on. Fact meter. Yeah, the fact meter. Who tells you that? Is the truth of ministry? Are we getting this information from Biden or Pelosi? Because we all know we can trust them because they're very trustworthy. Right. So evidently they're blaming this guy for the transgender. He was a leftist illegal alien. Repeating misinformation. Huh. We all know transgender leftist illegal senator is apparently kind of trash. Yeah, well, see, that's the problem when you don't allow people to put sources and to put information. And you have these left-wing sites censoring everything. And the left wing only allows things that they agree with and they block everything else. This is what you get. Nobody knows what to believe. And nobody's going to believe anybody that tells them it's the truth because you're all freaking liars. I just wish we had questions asked and we had facts instead of the government telling us. A big question I have is the school cops were on scene when he showed up. And yet they didn't kill him and they didn't chase him and they let him get to a room. Why? What happened? Where were their cameras? Are there any cameras in a school? Why did it take the Border Patrol to come in and save the day and shoot the guy? And what the hell was the Border Patrol doing 200 or 300 miles north of the border and they've got a sudden federal SWAT team that just happens to be in the area and showed up and taken this guy out? There's a whole bunch of questions about this, and I don't believe any of it because we've got a lying media and a lying government. All right? So those are the things that we'll never know about the shooter, what's true and what's not. We'll end that there.